bit about the scoring zone. You know, I've spent a lot of time working with tour players, and I'll tell you right now that tour players' short game doesn't consist of pitch and shift. I almost never hear them even say those words. They have a lot of different shots that they play around the green. You need to have a much more, you have more shots than pitch and shift to be effective around the green. So here's how we break down the scoring zone. This is our system that we teach the short game, and to give people a real strategy when they get to the golf course. So the scoring zone is this: it starts out from 70 or inside of 70 yards to about 30 yards, and we call that mini wedge play. And mini wedge play is just like your golf swing. It encompasses all the same fundamentals. And then from that, you know, once we get basically from that 70 to 30 yard range, the next shot that we do for the scoring zone is called the toss shot. And the toss shot is, I'm going to do all these shots today. The toss shot is an elevated shot, and you control trajectory. Sometimes you need to hit a high toss, sometimes you need to hit that. You see tour players hit a low, you know, kind of sand wedge shot off a tight lie that checks and then it releases. It's really a primary shot for good players. They have to have that in their bag. So toss shot, high and low. And then that takes us to 5 yards to the edge of the green. Then we have two shots we teach, one called a bump and run, which whenever you have a tight lie, you have access to the back of the golf ball. It's a low running shot, bump it on the green, and then it releases out to the hole. And then the hinge and hold. The hinge and hold is important because that's whenever the ball's in the rough, you have grass behind the golf ball, you've got to get some angle to get to the bottom of it and get it out with some spin. So really those are the four basic shots. We have mini wedge play, 70 to 30, toss shot high and low, 30 to 5, from 5 to the edge of the green, bump and run, hinge and hold. Of course, bunker play we call the explosion shot, and then putting, which putting, by the way, makes up 40% of your score. Here's something that we struggle with as teachers. The common phone call comes in. People are like, they'll tell you about their game, and they'll say, you know, I move the ball left to right, I slice it, or I fade it with my irons, I slice it with my driver. If I had a nickel every time I heard that, I'd have a lot of money. But that's the typical ball flight. Most people have the idea that they've got to really work on their full swing all the time. Bottom line is, if you break down the score of golf, 40% of your score is on the green. 30% is from the edge of the green to about 50 yards out. That's 70% of your score. If you're not working on those parts of your game, you're never going to score to your scoring potential. I see people all the time become better ball strikers. They don't become better players because they're not working on the game. So what's really cool about this facility that Bob built is that it basically takes into play all the shots I just talked about. The back tee is about 75 yards from the middle of the tee to all the way back in the green, and you know, about 65 yards to the front. And then this is our 45-yard tee. And then we have the tee box set on the other side of the bunker. So basically we can do our mini wedge here at 70 and then here at 45. Then we go on the other side of the bunker, we can do a toss shot, both high and low, high to your close pins and then low to the back pins. Then you go on this tee box right here, the one right in front of me, you can do bump and run and move forward. You can do hinge and hold, of course jump in the bunker. So you can practice your whole scoring zone right here.